Thank you. My question is for the Minister of Energy. 2 weeks ago, Minister, I raised the issue of debt at the Ontario Electricity Financing Corporation. The OEFC has $27 billion in outstanding debt, largely paid for by Hydro One revenue that will be lost if you sell Hydro One. But, Minister, there's a larger problem here than just a loss of revenue. The entire value of Hydro One is already mortgaged to the OEFC. All $16 billion of Hydro One's value has already been claimed by the OEFC to pay down its debt. That's why the law requires that all sale proceeds from any share of Hydro One must go to pay down the electricity debt. So, Minister, how can you sell any part of Hydro One given that it is already fully
Question. Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the reason that Ontarians are still paying for stranded debt is because of the mess that the BC government put us in. And we have been open and transparent in getting...
Minister.
And, Mr. Speaker, we've been very open and transparent about getting it reduced. And as a result, we have been reducing the stranded debt.
I'm prepared to get my exercise. Minister of Aboriginal Affairs. Please finish.
And, Mr. Speaker, as a result of the work that Ontarians have been doing in getting it reduced, and as we have said and as we have outlined every year in our fall economic statement and in our budget, we've detailed how that's being done. And we have committed by the end of this year to remove the residual stranded debt fees paid by residential by the end of this year, and so we'll continue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary.
Well, again, the Minister of Energy or whatever minister wants to start telling the truth over there.
The member will withdraw.
Withdraw, Mr. Speaker.
Please.
Again, to the Minister of Energy. Minister, when you sell your house and it's mortgaged to the bank, you can't pocket the sale price and refuse to pay off the mortgage. If you did that, you'd be charged with fraud. Any profit from a sale of Hydro One has already been
Minister of Children and Youth Services.
That profit is owed to the Ontario Electricity Financial Corporation, Hydro One's banker. Minister, your government keeps talking about unlocking the value of government assets. Will you finally admit that all of the value in Hydro One, the biggest asset you plan on putting on the auction block, is completely mortgaged already to the OEFC? It's already spoken for, Minister.
Member from Eglinton Lawrence. Minister.
The leftover of Ontario Hydro is OEFC. And what did the PCs leave OEFC? Debt. And that's all that's been left over. As a result, we've been taking steps to remove that debt from the ratepayer. And in fact, the approach has been working. Last year was about $1.5 billion in further reduction of stranded debt. This is the 10th consecutive year that stranded debt has been reduced cumulatively by
Carry on, please.
And over the last number of years, it's gone down by $10.8 billion. But, Mr. Speaker, the reason stranded debt even gone up and the residual portion of stranded debt went up is because they themselves artificially froze the rates because they went up by 30%, which caused the residual stranded debt to go up even higher. We're taking corrective action to make sure that it gets removed from the system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Final supplementary.
You need a real good briefing on the history of hydro in this province, because you don't know what you're talking about. There was $38 billion. The reason I broke up Hydro is it had $38 billion in debt, Minister, and we couldn't continue to go that way. We got that debt down to a residual stranded debt.
Member from Eglinton Lawrence, come
I
to
don't
order.
know how in the world you guys over 12 years brought it back up to $27 billion, but I'm bloody well going to find out one of these days. We've asked the auditor to look into that, and we're going to find out. I suspect a lot of it's your high-priced windmills and your Green Energy Act, which is driving jobs out of the province and prices up. So, Minister, will you finally be honest with the people of Ontario? What are you going to do with the $27 billion in debt? Are you going to leave it for the ratepayers and taxpayers of the future to pay for? That will mean skyrocketing hydro rates again.
Seated, please. Seated, please. Thank you. Start the clock. Thank you. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the fact and I am glad that the member opposite has admitted that he left a substantial debt at the OFC as a result of the mess up that they put forward.
The member from Sarnia-Lambton will come to order. And I'm going to fast-track the names that I take, including anyone injecting while I'm speaking. Please finish.
Speaker, during those days when the economy was actually prospering, not only did they try and mess up the hydro deal, they messed up the sale of 407 and still left a deficit of $5.6 billion in our coffers, which we had to correct since going forward. Mr. Speaker.
That's it.
Mr. Speaker, the Ontario government.
That's it. Thank you. New question. Leader of the third.